Well, this AI video of the Ayatollah seems pretty legit here with the kind of honest commentary.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think we're fucked.
As a lot of people are saying, it's not if, but just when Donald Trump will decide to strike Iran. As of course, last night he made his case to the American public. Was it a convincing one? Well, Lindsey Graham, Ben Shapiro, and Mark Levin are super happy about it, as a lot of other people are speaking out against it, including Cenk Uygur, Dave Smith, Joe Rogan talked about some of his apprehensions surrounding all of this, as China definitely is becoming more involved here. And strategically, as I said yesterday, it might be in their interest to help foment this larger conflict, as I'm warning about the big dangers here, as now we have a new study finding that artificial intelligence systems are very in favor of deploying tactical nuclear weapons, as the Russians are warning about deploying their own forms of nuclear weapons against the Ukrainians. What in the world's going on here, especially with more extremely bombastic comments from Medvedev in Russia here, as we got extraordinary satellite footage here highlighting this crazy conflict that is only getting crazier here. As things went off on the Fearmongering show, we're going to be talking about that, all the latest developments, all the latest news, specifically when it comes to American foreign policy and this larger kind of Iranian endeavor that a lot of people have a lot of serious questions about. We're going to do our best to try to answer that. If you appreciate that, subscribe. Click the notification button. We're doing really great on this brand new channel, and we appreciate all of you guys who are watching. It means the world to us. Now, let's just get right into it, as the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, just announced that he's going to be randomly ordering pizzas. Why? Well, there's been significant chatter online correlating how when there's a bunch of orders being done at specific pizzerias, it means that there's a bunch of people at the Pentagon working late. What are they working on? Well, a lot of people believe big foreign conflicts, and a lot of these correlations have actually been successful in being able to predict major significant operations. So Pete Hegseth now will randomly start ordering pizzas around the Pentagon, so the tracking apps can't successfully track the orders and the correlation of major military operations. As, yeah, I guess that's one way to fight this current, like, modern information war that all of us are involved and enthralled in, whether we like it or not. As Joe Rogan came out and had some apprehensions about this Iran stuff, which a lot of people were expecting a major decision to be made yesterday on by the President of the United States. There was Israeli media reporting the decision has been made. It's going to happen. Trump's going to declare it during the State of the Union. And it didn't. Now, Trump did make his case here, and the Democratic opposition isn't really in opposition to this, right? Even though they're in opposition to Trump against a lot of stuff, which is interesting here. But here's what Rogan had to say.
It's overwhelming me. Like, sometimes at nighttime, like, I can't wind down.
Yeah.
It's just like there's too much news. It's too much fucking madness. We're about to go to war with Iran.
I know.
Like, everyone's eating beef jerky and pizza. Like, what are these what the fuck is pizza?
I know.
You know, how far does this go? How come this never got released before? Like, what is happening?
Yep, as we're going through a major criminal cover-up by this administration of some of the most seediest, most disgusting predators out there, as the overall definitive message we're getting is that, hey, there's a secret sect of satanic predatory billionaires that like to do child sacrifice that we're protecting. And we're going to war now. On whose behalf? The donor class. Who's the donor class? Oh, some of those guys too. What? Hold on. That's not what I voted for, as Rogan has expressed some of the regret here, as this is the President of the United States last night claiming that Iran killed 32,000 protesters. Now, the data comes from an organization that has a little bit of a conflict of interest, as the organization reporting those numbers also really wants a regime change in Iran. I would say they're a little biased. Now, of course, there should be independent investigators, there should be UN investigations, there should be peacekeepers that go there to actually understand what's going on. Obviously, Iran is a heavy-handed dictatorship. It's a top-down government. I'm not a fan of the Iranian government, of course, but why is it our business is a different question to ask here. Now, CBS News was also reporting 30,000 protesters. And they're like, oh, yeah, based on this claim from this organization. Do we have any proof? Do we have any evidence of this? As it looks like we're just kind of guesstimating here. And I think we got to be a little bit more careful than just stating these things as facts here. As, of course, I want the facts. I want, and the truth is, it could be true. I'm not saying it's not true. I'm saying it could be true. But unless it's verified, we shouldn't be running as the major kind of excuse to topple a government and lead to tremendous amounts of consequences that I think the vast majority of people aren't prepared for. Here's Donald Trump yesterday.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, it looks like, 32,000 protests. 32,000 protesters.
It looks like. That's the cute. It looks like. Well, what's the reality of it?
In their own country. They shot them and hung them. We stopped them from hanging a lot of them with the threat of serious violence. But this is some terrible people. They've already developed missiles that can threaten Europe. And
now, will Iran threaten Europe? No. Europe looks like it's like very neutral on this. And they're like, well, America's like, hey, come on, we're going to do Iran. And Europe's like, That's kind of their official statements on this from everything that I'm reading. Before getting into that and playing the rest of this clip and playing the rest of Trump's argument here, I do one ad read during the 40-minute video, and here it is. It's for lookunfiltered.com. It's for our company, our brand, as, of course, a lot of people take a lot of foreign money, a lot of money from special interest groups. We don't do that. We take money from you. 20 cents a day, $8 a month. We make it affordable, and we give you a bunch of really cool items in return for that. About 1,000 videos, 13 plus years of exclusive videos, 3 master classes that are really fun, seed oil cards, and the Discord chat where all of us get to talk to each other. As, of course, the censorship clamps are going to start up soon. I predicted the online censorship era all the way back in 2008. You could go back on our main YouTube channel, which has significant blocks on it. We can't promote our t-shirts on the main channel. We can promote it on this brand new channel that we started, which you can see down here. Shirts, like the ones that we now have available on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. We moved into a new way of promoting these shirts. We only have one shirt. One shirt. And then once we create a new shirt, it's retired. And it's only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. As you go down here, right, you could see, oh, wait, I want these shirts. Wait, they're sold out. I can't get them. Reasons you can't get them is because they're only available for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. So the old store still available only for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. What are the other perks here that we just added to become a member of LukeUnfiltered.com? So if you want the classics that, like the one I'm wearing right now, 1984, Make Orwell Fiction Again. This shirt, many years old. Look how the quality of it still keeps up. So that shirt available, LukeUnfiltered.com only now, not through thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where we only have one shirt. That one shirt should be highlighted here in this particular video. So again, people are like, why are you asking for money? Well, how else do you expect us to do this? You expect us to shill? You expect us to sell out? That's what a lot of other people are doing. I refuse to do that. I want to work for you. Vote with your dollar. We are greatly appreciative of anyone who does even more. $15 a month, $99 a month, whatever you can afford. I understand times are hard, and we greatly appreciate all of your support. It means a lot to us. Of course, all the pro-war voices, all the people supporting, saying, war, 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 war. The military-industrial complex, one way or another, is feeding them money, and they're getting a crap ton of it. The people calling for peace, those are the ones that get censored. Those are the ones that get demonetized. Those are the ones that get hit, that get targeted here. And we're the ones facing the full brunt of the censorship industrial complex, which is going to get geared up again. And when it does, we're going to still be able to talk on LukeUnfiltered.com, regardless of wherever we get censored. So we got censored before. We're going to get censored again. LukeUnfiltered.com, sign up. It's your guarantee to be able to hear from us for the future. Now, here's Donald Trump once again saying, oh, yeah, they got missiles. They're going to hit Europe. Why would they hit Europe? Europe has been, like, working with them on the Iran nuclear deal. Europe is, like, telling Trump, like, hey, man, like, chill, bro. Like, hey, like, can we... Europe's being asked, like, hey, what do you got for us here for Israel? So we could attack Iran. And they're like, hey, we're barely able to, like, finance the Ukraine war. They're like, we're giving Ukraine's giving us IOUs for military hardware. And of course, they're just building up their military. Europe has decided to spend vast majority of their tax dollars on socialism for the refugees that have been predominantly created, but a lot of the instability created by American foreign policy. And then homing in and rehoming them and replacing the local populations with them, as their local populations that are working are financing their kind of replacement. And now the Europeans are like, we don't want to get rid of that. That's a nice scheme we got going on. And then Trump's like, no, you got to spend it on military. And they're like, oh, I guess, all right. And they're just starting to do so. They're not that bullish on war with Iran, right? Most of Europe, predominantly. They're more bullish on war with Russia, which they're kind of prepping and preparing for. And that's a significant scenario and situation that's unfolding in the region right now. But here's Donald Trump. They're like, Iran has missiles to strike Europe. They're not going to strike Europe, bro. Like, clearly, their main enemy is Israel, right? You might as well just say that. Like, just be honest with it. Iran wants to get rid of Israel. Israel wants to get rid of Iran. I think the two would be better if the United States stepped in and said, shut up, both of you go in your corners, leave each other alone. That would be the best. But the United States is saying, no, we're going to back up this guy. And again, all of them are acting like bullies, and it's just geopolitically a major big saber rattle, a major big fake out. There's a lot of like discussions. China's involved here as well. And the situation is just China's interested in sparking up this conflict. I'll tell you why in a little bit.
And our bases overseas, and they're working to build missiles that will soon reach the United States of America. After Midnight Hammer, they were warned to make no future attempts to rebuild their weapons program, and in particular, nuclear weapons. Yet
they literally were like, okay, we're done. We're going to China. We're going to work on some missile systems with them, some defense systems with them, some satellite GPS. It's not GPS. It's something else called in China. I forgot the exact name of it. With them. And that's what happened after the 12-day war. After they saw Russia just pretty much being a symbolic partner of theirs and not a partner that would be willing to, of course, defend them.
They continue starting it all over. We wiped it out, and they want to start all over again. And are at this moment, again, pursuing their sinister ambitions. We are in negotiations with them. They want to make a deal, but we haven't heard those secret words. We will never have a nuclear weapon. My preference.
Now, they understand Pakistan has a nuclear weapon, and Pakistan is probably next. That's why Israel is now doing a lot of partnerships with India. We'll get into that in a little bit here. As Patrick David posts, Trump sounds the alarm on Iran's nuclear push here.
And just over the last couple of months with the protests, they've killed at least, and
again, this is the same clip that we just played here. It looks like Patrick David had his own kind of clip on here that they reacted to, as Patrick David, oddly bullish on Iran regime change. And as Donald Trump was talking about his case, you saw Lindsey Graham here. Like, this is very telling here.
NATO countries are friends and allies. They are. They're our friends and they're our allies. Have just agreed, at my very strong request, to pay 5% of GDP for military defense rather than the 2%, which they weren't paying. We were paying for almost all of NATO. Now they're paying 5 as opposed to not paying 4.
Yeah. As people are like, he sure is happy. As people are highlighting how he's really not happy when there's no war. He's really happy when there's war. This is a fake AI rendering of him. And I bet this is another fake AI filter trying to make him look bad. But this is the extreme. But in reality, I remember, like, we played a clip and he was like, oh, there's peace. They had a deal. And Lindsey Graham was like, there's a nickname that he's been given that I went as a Halloween costume as. Don't look it up. It's just do not redeem it. As people are saying, he definitely gives off Emperor Palpatine vibes here, as a lot of people aren't too happy about him, as he just posted a couple hours ago honored to have David Ellison as my guest to the State of the Union address. As Max Blumenthal highlights an article, new CBS owner David Ellison met with top Israeli general and schemed to spy on Americans. Yeah, hey there. What? What? Spying on us? ABC News. President Trump seemed to lay out his case. It wasn't that convincing. Like, it's not like they're like, hey, they're gonna attack us. Really? Hey, they're bad. Yeah, there's a lot of other governments that are bad. I didn't really see a convincing case. Like, there's a lot of like steelman arguments that he didn't address with this particular type of assessment, especially with the kind of volatile situation that all of this is really involving all of us in. President Trump seemed to lay out his case, and not really, directly to the American people during the State of the Union, saying that Iran has already developed missiles that threaten Europe and could threaten American soil. Could? Why would they? They would be obliterated. Like Iran says, yeah, we're just going to bomb Europe. Really? Why would they do that? It's like, hey, there's a neutral territory here that helps us with negotiations with America. Let's bomb them. What? Why would they do that? It's like hypothetical. Okay, one, do you have any proof of these like missiles? Can we get some proof? Can we get some evidence? Is it the same intelligence agencies that told us that they had WMDs? Is that the same proof? Is that the same guys? Because like, you can't just blanketly agree with these guys. You got to show us satellite photos. You got to be like, hey, here's the scientist we grabbed. Hey, here's proof. And I understand some of the stuff can't be released for national security. I get it. But at the same time, you're like, trust me, bro. It's like the same Iraq argument. Iraq's gonna fight us in America. That's why we got to fight them over there. No, we don't. We never did. They were never really a threat. Like, if Iraq or Iran decides to preemptively strike America, they're obliterated many times over. Trump issues warning to Iran during his State of the Union. Again, a lot of this is just like not reading the temperature in the room. Vast majority of people don't want this. Lots of people are like, really? Like, this is where we're going as a country? Like, we have other priorities. Health insurance premiums, electricity costs, like healthcare, the American health in general, just being eviscerated. And now we're protecting glyphosate. Come on. Dave Smith, and the Democrats are like fighting Trump against everything except this. They're like little ninnies when it comes to this. Dave Smith says, this is the Democratic opposition, ladies and gentlemen.
This is serious, and the administration has to make its case to the American people.
What did you hear?
Yeah, bye-bye. Dave Smith. Last year, at the State of the Union, President Trump declared a new golden age was upon us. Trump promised that Deutsche would cut hundreds of billions in fraud, that he would end the war in Ukraine, and that the era of regime change wars was over. This year, after doing none of that, he will be selling a stupid, unpopular war for Israel in Iran here. And again, all the propaganda is the same. It ratcheted up here. Glenn Greenwald points out more to this Democratic opposition here that, again, it's like mad about Trump doing anything. Trump got 2 ice cream cones. Trump's going to bomb Iran. That's how the Democrat soy boys sound like anyway. Elizabeth Warren came out onto social media to feed her, quote, dumb liberal followers this pleasant sound cliche about no war with Iran, then a couple hours later gave Trump a standing ovation during the most militant part of his speech about war with Iran. Classic Democrat here. And again, Elizabeth Warren posted, no war with Iran. I don't know if she did it in Native American garb. Like, I don't know if she sent it through maybe a smoke signal or something. The American people want President Trump to focus on making life more affordable for working families here at home, not sending our military into another endless war in the Middle East. Yeah, that's what we want. And you say that, but like the opposition to that is kind of weak here. As Congressman Rogan even said that their resolution on war with Iran, with Massey, was supposed to be introduced Monday. They didn't have the votes as Democrats don't want to go on the record about it. It will be introduced next week. We're going to see what happens here. As, of course, a lot of Democrats are also bought off here. We have a lot of these Democrats also bought off by, and literally going to Epstein, be like, Epstein, please give me monies. Now, Iran here is on the offensive. They just released this video catching Dutch diplomats. They accuse them of smuggling Starlinks and satellite phones into the country. There's been a kind of intelligence effort to send in communication devices since, Iran took down the internet, all of it. There's new billboards going up in Tehran here in Palestine Square saying the goal is clear. Trump's 51st state next to an Israeli flag and welcome to hell. The welcome to hell part's the threat. If the U.S. attacks Iran, Iran promises to, quote, make it costly. I don't know if these are even like fake images. I don't even know what's real or not coming out of Iran because they closed the internet, which is what like top-down tyrannical regimes do, especially when they don't want to be toppled. They're like, oh yeah, people can't talk to each other. As like the Mossad's there, like, okay, we're marching with you guys, literally. Mossad's there. As there's been a lot of infiltration of Iranian society, a lot of people coming in as refugees that are really Israeli Mossad agents, and then they're the ones that set up this type of surprise sneak attack during the 12-day war that launched it, that went after their top generals, their top politicians, their top scientists, and extrajudiciously kind of attacked and took them out through like drones that they set into place, that they left, that were just kind of activated, started up, and they were like these hunter-killer predator drones inside of Iran here that were just flying around, that the Israelis set up all throughout the country, that they were able to get like communication and like satellite systems on to watch and garner here. As it looks like the Iranians are getting hip to that, especially with how satellites and image technology has been very important for the Americans and the Israelis to attack them. It looks like they're also now using Chinese satellite images and technology and navigation systems to get an assessment of the military buildup around them with alleged help from the Chinese. Now, the Chinese are signaling increased support for Iran. This is important, as of course, China is viewing Iran like America is viewing Ukraine. And they're like, well, if you get them in their prolonged conflict, we get them engaged here, we could probably go take Taiwan. Now, Tim Cook allegedly has been told that, and again, I'm gonna look this up right now here, because I remember reading about this, but I want to pull up here, as allegedly he was warned by the CIA that China was going to take Taiwan in 2027. Now, China, this is rumors, Apple CEO Tim Cook was among a handful of top tech executives who attended a classified CIA briefing warning that China could attack Taiwan. Why is this important? China produces a lot of our devices and a lot of the hardware for our devices, right? China produces a lot of important stuff shipped to America that big heads of titans of corporations are dependent on. That would cripple and destroy infrastructure, right? That's why I think Tim Cook is being potentially told about this. This is reporting from the New York Times. Granted, New York Times doesn't have the best track record in a lot of this stuff. Taiwan also produces a lot of semiconductors. America's trying to produce their own kind of semiconductors here, but also Israel is important for a lot of the tech type of global trade that's involved here. Now, again, the CIA going to these people saying, hey, China's going to do this in 2027. This is according to the New York Times. The previously unreported briefing was apparently held in a secure room in Silicon Valley in July 2023. The meeting is said to have been arranged at the request of then Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo, who had grown frustrated with the tech industry's reluctance to move chip production away from Taiwan. And again, as The Diplomat is reporting, thediplomat.com, why China doesn't want the U.S. and Iran to make peace. While Beijing publicly advocates restraint, sustained tensions between the U.S. and Iran serve its strategic interest. Yeah, you're able to bog down America in this conflict. We're able to get Taiwan. And that's kind of like the deal here that's probably being negotiated and like war gamed and drilled here. And if we're using AIs to war game this stuff, the AI is like, use the nukes, use the nukes, use the nukes. We'll get to that story in a little bit. We got IsraelHaman.com reporting, why is China silent on Iran? With Tehran under pressure and the Middle East ablaze, Beijing plays a long game supplying oxygen while refusing to walk into the fire. Iran also just had naval exercises with China and Russia in the Strait of Hormuz here. highlighting the kind of military movements, their abilities to, of course, run offensive and defensive maneuvers with the world's biggest militaries. Now, America is the number one biggest military. China, Russia are, of course, behind them with that. Iran also very big military, and 3 times the size of the population of Iraq here. Now, Reuters, exclusive. Iran near deals to buy supersonic anti-ship missiles from China. These missiles, almost impossible, according to the reports here, to stop here and could sink aircraft carriers. So if China is providing the logistics, the satellites, and now potentially the supersonic anti-ship missiles that can't be stopped here, this conflict looks a bit different here. As of course we had an argument about Iran here with Piers Morgan just a few hours ago, and it got pretty tumultuous, to say the least here.
Unfortunately, the president's a bit of a child, so the Israelis lead him around by the nose. Attack their sites. No, get their uranium. No, get their ballistic missiles. No, make sure they don't support the proxy groups. Constantly pushing and pushing the American people into their stupid, endless wars where we waste so many lives and the entire American treasure. We did $8 trillion on the global war on Israel's enemies. Enough! Serve America. Going into this war would be absolute madness, and it would turn into disaster. On behalf of the American people, I say loudly, no.
And that's definitely the opposition here from a leftist liberal that, unlike the Democrats, is actually willing to, like, be a vocal opponent to this, as the rest of the Democrats are like, well, this war with Iran. I think the Democrats also understand, just like China, how disastrous this would be if this would be a war. I think Trump's trying to avoid this from being an Iraq 2.0 situation, but we got to understand we're like on the edge of that happening very severely. Like it could potentially happen like that, which would be disastrous.
Okay, Goldie Gamara, you fled Iran as a toddler. So no one is more personally invested in its future than somebody like you. What is your response to Cenk Uygur?
I mean, this whole Jews control the world trope is just because
he didn't say that, right? There's a difference, right? And again, there's a reason people are obfuscating it, right? I'm not okay with those tropes either, right? Like, we speak out against them. You shouldn't generalize. There's a bunch of Israeli people that don't want this war either, right? There's a bunch of people protesting the war in Israel, right? There is a neoconservative type of ultra warmongering political class, not all of the Israelis, that wants this war, and they're pushing for this war in very underhanded, dastardly ways, right? There's a big difference between those and the average smoolie here, okay? Like, there's a big difference. And it's just disingenuous to say that Cenk is talking about it, since Cenk clearly isn't painting the picture here as disingenuously as this lady characterizes it.
becoming very old.
Yeah.
This is, please don't interrupt me, Cenk. I let you spout your jihadi propaganda. I don't have the time or patience to deal with your nonsense. So if you
Now, if you really want to deal with the jihadis, right, I would counter and say, well, look at the Iraq war that created the jihadis. Look at the American CIA that financed the jihadis. Look at ISIS, al-Nusra, al-Qaeda, that the Iranians were fighting against. Now, granted, Iran has their own terror networks of Hamas, as Hezbollah, that they finance, right? Hezbollah just came out and says, we're not going to be involved in this conflict. What?
All right, you know what? Pierce, I actually just sent you a clip of the Islamic regime, state TV, airing your interview from last time where they are defending Cenk and they're attacking me. I just sent that clip to your producers. So, you have to ask yourself, when you have the Islamic regime defending the arguments of someone like Cenk, it makes you wonder, is Cenk working for the regime, or is he being a useful idiot for them?
That's a general, like, just you work for the Iran. Really, the Iranians can't function on the world stage, right? They don't have access to financial accounts I doubt they're buying anyone off, especially with how destroyed their economy is through the sanctions, as the purchasing power of their local currency is just nothing.
All I'm saying is that, these anti-Semitic tropes, no one's buying them anymore.
Being anti-war is not hating all Jewish people. That doesn't make sense. You can't say all Jewish people protesting the war are anti-Jew. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Come on. Like, it's just like you're just mudslinging here instead of actually addressing the root cause of the issue of how this could be a disaster, and how China and some Democrats who want to undermine Trump are like, oh, please don't do this as we help you do this. That's why the Democrats don't want to take a vote on it, right? Because they're like, oh, yeah, we're kind of for it, because then this is going to be a disaster. That's how most people see it. Now, I pray it doesn't become a disaster, but there's a big chance it will. And you're playing with fire of it being a disaster by being reckless here.
Ultimately, the Iranian people have made it very clear what they want. And as you can see, the fact that even I'm speaking is threatening Cenk so much that he feels the need to laugh and interrupt. But, I do not listen to the words, or I don't even want to legitimize the words of anyone who is being defended by the Islamic regime, because you don't go on the Islamic regime state TV unless you're basically sanctioned by Khamenei. So it's very strange to me that someone who claims that they're America first is being defended by the Islamic regime.
Well, to be clear, I don't think Cenk has gone on Iranian state TV. They've used a clip of him, right? He hasn't
exactly.
Gone on
they used a clip of him to defend his arguments about how Israel is behind everything. So again, when your arguments line up with the
on the Young Turks, does that mean we agree with you?
Yeah. Again, not really an argument here, as of course the propaganda ratcheted up here. Mark Levin, Iran's producing ballistic missiles or chemicals and biological warheads. We must not delay any longer. Yeah, come on, Mark Levin, really? Iran producing ballistic missiles. Oh yeah, it's happening. We can't deny. Yeah, that paper connected to, of course, a lot of the larger propaganda efforts here. And this is him now saying, they're going to strike New York. The Iranian. Why would Iran do that? They're not, like this is just, it's like, hey, there's Goliath. Most of the times Goliath's going to win. All the time. It's like, hey, there's this here's the number one military in the world that could obliterate us with space weapons. Let's go. Let's hit him once. What are you thinking? What do you think you're going to do here? Like, that, again, this doesn't follow with any kind of logical sense or thinking.
That they must destroy civilization. They believe today that they must destroy the West. Most prominent.
Why were they fighting for the Syrian regime against ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and al-Nusra, fighting for the Syrian regime that allowed Christians, Jews, and Muslims to live together in that one state? Right? Again, Shiites and the Sunnis, it's a clash of kind of civilizations that is being played up upon in the Middle East as well. We saw China trying to bring Saudi Arabia and Iran together temporarily through trade. And then, of course, there was a major action that disrupted that. In the Middle East, that created more kind of tension and violence in the region.
The United States of America, those nuclear ICBMs aren't aimed for Tel Aviv or Jerusalem. They're aimed for New York and Los Angeles and Chicago and everywhere in between and around the United States of America.
Again, this is just like constant fear-mongering. It's like, they're the big boogeyman. They're underneath your bed right now. They're going to hurt you. You're sleeping. They're going to come out, and they're going to grab your toes, and they're going to attack your toes. You better cover your toes with the blanket. The big bad flip-flop wearing Abdullah Iranians are going to come underneath your bed and they're going to get you.
America. They're working closely with the communist Chinese, Putin, and North Korea.
Putin, bad man.
And we are on the precipice, I believe, of finally addressing this, so that we can have peace and security and
Yes, we're going to have peace through war. That makes sense. Yeah, I heard that one. We're going to be virgins through doing what? What are you guys doing?
Prosperity. We haven't bothered that regime. That regime has been kidnapping, slaughtering, maiming Americans since day one. It seeks a nuclear weapon to destroy us. And any terrorist group that runs a country that murders 50,000 of its own people.
Now it's 50,000. Trump's like 32. No, it's 50. How do we know? Where's the data?
People and would murder a million.
Like, you would think there would be like satellite images of all these mass graves. That's one way of proving it. We have satellite images. We have satellite photos. Take all the photos. Show us the mass graves. 50,000 people? That's a lot of people. All right? There's going to be massive graves everywhere. Where's that? Where's the satellite images of the mass graves? We don't have that. But trust Mark Levin and an NGO connected to Iranian regime change to trust us, bro. No, we're not.
Million of its own people will have no hesitation about firing nuclear warheads against us.
Yeah, based on what type of assessment here is now, the Israelis are getting very close to the Indians. Why is that? Because they said as soon as Iran's taken out, it's Pakistan. You just watch. Iran's probably going to be taken out by September of this year. As soon as Iran's taken out, Pakistan's next. They're going to use the help with India and Israel to go after, because Israel can't allow a nuclear armed Pakistan in the Middle East, especially if they want to control and dominate all the Middle East, which is part of their kind of greater plan here that they have here. As this is footage today from the Israeli Knesset of the politicians there cheering and chanting for the Indian political leader. Now, this partnership is interesting, right? As the Prime Minister of India, Modi, came out, told the Israeli government that two ancient civilizations are forming a powerful alliance. Why are they doing this? Because Pakistan's next. And India and Pakistan were literally at war with each other just a few months ago. Now, luckily, Trump intervened and was like, stop it, stupid people. What the hell's wrong with you? You should do that again in the Middle East. If Trump wants to be the promoter of peace, he needs to go in the Middle East, and this is a different policy, because the policy that we're seeing right now is one hijacked by the donor class, the military-industrial complex, the special interest groups that have hijacked our government, hijacked him. Trump needs to push away all those people, and this is what he needs to do. He needs to go to the Middle East and be like, all right, Israel, you stay here. Iran, you stay here. Shut up. Stop it. Both of you. I'm sick of you guys. Stop it. I'm going to cut off support if you guys keep fighting. And that's what. And then Trump put a lot of economic pressure on India and Pakistan. He should implement the same model, saying, stop it. What are you guys doing? Stop what you're fighting. India, Pakistan, nuclear-powered countries. Very good that Trump stopped that one. He stopped that one. But he's like pushing for this one in Iran, which is stupid. Hezbollah came out, one of their officials says, yeah, we're not going to intervene if America attacks Iran. Interesting here. As occurs to now, we're dealing with a war of memes and comments and taking over a hijacked type of discourse here in America. Ben Shapiro's YouTube chat recently was seen with a bunch of people that said Free Palestine in there.
W Sneeko. Hey, leave me alone, bro. L Jew Sneeko. Look at it.
But there's a lot of optimism to have to know that our country is back.
Bro.
Bring the
holy
the
fuck! Oh my god, bro!
He made
There's not one of his chatters.
Brilliant to the next.
He's looking at it. Look at him. Look.
Oh, isn't the way people are being deported?
Look, he's looking.
Terrible, and that's been the trick that they've used, and it's been pretty effective.
Yes,
at some point,
the country's changing.
Do I want these people
We're
back?
sick of these people.
Negative really well.
Shilling for Israel.
I don't think any words are going to be hammering away.
Look at it. Look at it.
Telling people what he's done, but people are going to have to feel it in their pocketbooks.
Free Palestine.
And I also just want to add quickly that I'm really glad.
Now, again, there were a lot of bots being used here. Obviously, what's real, what's not, who knows anymore. The conversation got even more heated between Cenk Uygur and General Wesley Clark, who warned about how Iran was going to be overtaken in 2001, predicting 7 countries in 5 years. That timeline was expanded clearly. I confronted General Wesley Clark about this when he told Amy Goodman about this, and he looked like he saw a ghost. He was freaked out. I'm going to do another video about Russia and AI systems, recommending tactical nukes here. Zelensky just came out, says, yeah, World War III is here. Dmitry Medvedev, the deputy chairman of Russia, just came out, said, yeah, Russia is thinking about using strategic small-scale kind of nuclear weapons here against Ukraine, potentially even UK or France. So, yeah, a little bit of a tumultuous situation here in the world, as it's only going to get more wilder. Strap in. Let's pray for peace. If you support peace and support this message, get it out there to the general public. Thank you so much for supporting us on thebestpoliticalshirts.com and signing up to lookunfiltered.com. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys doing that, and this is why I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on youtube.com/LukeRadowski76.